Hi everyone, it's Louis Crypto. Quant is now just started dumping. In today's update, we're going to discuss our targets to the downside. So just before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and enjoy this video. So looking at Quant on the daily time frame, we can finally see that it's lost this $100 area of support. There were some levels below. We could see that these wicks to the downside at $95 were also holding up price. In the past few weeks, exactly Thursday, the 17th of August, Quant did have a dump all the way down to $85. It seems as if we're going to fill in that wick. So this is actually quite cool because if you remember in my last video update on Quant last week, we saw I was expecting price to come down. Now I haven't got any drawings at the moment because I wanted to just show you this clear chart, so we'll add them on right now. And we can see that it's pretty much following what I thought. I think I made the video somewhere over here, and the expectation was to come back down, maybe, and fill in the wick, maybe come back up to test this previous support now as resistance. So if we were to ever get up to this price point again, where we were holding a support anywhere between 95 and 99, this could be a good area for shorting if you weren't already in shorts. We had a lot of clues, which were all of the moving averages suggesting that we were bearish, and all that was holding us up was this $20 or area of support between 80 and 100, but more closely $95 to $100 was this $5 range of support that we were holding over here for some months, since May in fact. But we could see that, as I said in the last video updates, that the bounces from this location were getting weaker and weaker, and we can see that any attempt to break through the 55, this orange one, was just hammered back down by this 200 EMA. In fact, guys, this is something that I was talking about exactly last year. So literally around November time, when we got this FTX capitulation over here, I said eventually we're going to get a dead cat bounce, which is a fake rise and then a dump back down to where we were. And then I was suggesting as the months went by that if we were to lose in and around $94 to $100, we'd get a dump down towards about 80, 83. We did get down to 85, or 84 point whatever, so $1 off what we were calling for. But it seems as if we're still going to fulfill that prophecy that I mentioned back in November. And honestly, ever since I was saying it back then, a lot of people were giving hate throughout this last year or so, almost a year now. And it's just surprising that people, although I believe in the future of Quant, people just, and of course everyone else does as well, that's why we're here, but people don't want to look at the other side. There's always going to be downside at some point. It doesn't just go up in a straight line. And here on the channel, we were trying to look out for those signals that were saying that Quant could actually dump lower than $100. And of course, over the past months and months and months, I've been saying that any price point beneath $100 is going to be a great long-term investment, simply because we're expecting Quant to be over an $800 token by the next bull run. This will be our first set of targets, and I've already showed you this in previous videos. But if we're taking this $50 bottom, or whatever is $40 bottom, from this high over here down to this bottom point over here, we can see that a minimal target for Quant would be, there you go, $800. We can see Quant going to 1,000 plus, nearly $2,000, and these would be good targets. So $800, if we're thinking that Quant could go down to 80, that's a lovely 10x. Now I do believe it will go much beyond $800, but let's just take it step by step. That's going to be a long way into the future. Why? Because we are again dumping down, and we are in this purple box, which I've mentioned multiple times on the channel is a great time to DCA. And now that we have finally lost this $94 wicks over here, it does seem, if I head over to the 5-day just to condense this a bit more, it does seem as if we're trying to head to these targets. Now I did give you some targets in the last video update, one down here, but I already gave an explanation to why I don't think it will be met exactly. I think we will find support above that target. Now this target is out of this larger head and shoulders, which was the pattern that I was talking about November last year, where no one wanted to hear about. Again, doesn't mean that it's going to be met. I was just relaying the message to you guys. I'm just a messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. I don't care what happens, but as long as I'm telling you what I'm seeing, I don't have a guilty conscience. And then if I didn't say anything, we just randomly dump down to whatever it is. And then everyone going, but Louis, you didn't warn us, and then when I go ahead and try to warn, you know what we get. But the other bearish pattern was this smaller head and shoulders, which we of course spoke about, and we're yet to also meet that target as well. We just missed it on the KuCoin chart, which I guess is where most of you guys get your quant from. I think this is the most updated, it's got the most history, unless you're using that secret quant chart that goes back to, you know, years and years and years ago. But yeah, we've got a target down here at about $80 out of this head and shoulders here, as well as this larger head and shoulders patterns target at $51. Now, I don't think this will be met, simply because in the last video update, I mentioned that I was expecting maybe a path like this down into this ascending support. So we drew out this box range. You know, you could even increase it. This could be a little bit wrong at the moment. It could even be something like this. So anywhere between $60 to $75 is where Quant could be coming down to, especially if we go ahead and lose this wick over here. So for me, while we are within this, it's still a good time to DCA, but I'm still going to be waiting to see if Quant does actually get down towards the $60, $75 region. That would be a great long-term buy, although at the moment, as I said, for months on end, anything under $100 long term, don't expect any returns in the next months. You know, don't expect any returns in the next 3 to 6 months. We're not getting Quant we're not buying Quant today to sell in 6 months. That's not the goal. The end goal is to sell once it's beyond this high point over here. And we saw that the first set of targets was about $800. So that is where I'm going to start to DCA out of Quant. And so any prices again underneath $100 is just an absolute blessing to know that we are going to get a 10x. So if we were to even get down to there, we know that minimal we will be getting way more than a 10x. If you've been here long enough over the last few years, you'd know that I called this bottom exactly, and the reason was simply because on the other special quant chart, the 200 EMA was down here on the weekly or daily, yeah, on the weekly time frame or something like that. But you needed the quant chart that had years of data, not just going back to 2021, a few years before that. And that gave us the 200 EMA over here. So when it reclaimed it and confirmed its support at around $50, $51, I said, guys, we've reset the market. It's time to long-term buy quant. And nearly a whole, well, more than a whole year later, we're potentially going to get an opportunity that comes back down to in and around that price point. So I want to know your thoughts. Do you think that we will get back down to in and around the $60 to $75 region? Do you think that this target will be met at about $51? I don't think so, but will remain to be seen. I don't think so because, you know, on time-based capitulation, to get down to that price point, if we move it to the right over here, you can see that would be surpassing this ascending support that we've now drawn, going through this point and extending it up to these body candle closes. So I do think that you'd be stopped by this. You might get a wick below, it might happen, but as of now, I think that this is what's standing in the way from meeting this $51 target out of this head and shoulders we called back in November last year. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think that which target in the comment section below do you think will be met? I'm pretty certain that this one will be, unless we get an incredible pump by Bitcoin. But I think if you've been following along with my Bitcoin updates, make sure you do check out today's one. We were calling for this dump that we've seen today, and we're calling for much lower price targets, maybe all the way until 21k. And if that were to happen on Bitcoin, it dropping another 4k, then this is where Quant could actually get down to these price points over here. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Like, subscribe, comment. If any of you want to join my Discord community, I can give you 3 months totally for free. Just hit the links in the description down below. Head over to my x/twitter.com and private message me there. Follow me over there for more content anyways, guys. Turn on the notification bell. I hope to see you in the next Quant update, but just a reminder, any price below $100 long term, and we're talking like a few years from now, this is a great long term buy. Cheers.